Good evening, everybody. Prayer is an invocation or act that seeks to activate a rapport with an object of worship through deliberate communication. Now, I would like to call upon Saeed Harifa from BSc IBND to sing a prayer song.
Namo Ariyantanam, Namo Sitanam, Namo Ayeriyanam, Namo Vajayanam, Namalu Isavasagunam. Yesu Pankanamukaru, Sarva Papavaranasahu, Mangalanam Chesarvesim. Padamam Havai Mangalam. Padamam Havai Mangalam. நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்து கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிலமை திரும்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you, Arifa, for the blessed moment. Now, I would like to call upon Jovi Tanya from BCom General to give away the welcome address.
Good day, everyone. It's a glad welcome to bring you this evening filled with the desire, hopes, dreams we share. Good evening to our faculties, students, and especially our judges, Mrs. Anandi ma'am and Mrs. Naharani ma'am, who have agreed to spend their valuable time to judge the online and offline competitions on the eve of Women's Day organized by our college. We have gathered here to celebrate the International Women's Day virtually. I'm extremely glad that I have been given this opportunity to deliver the welcome speech for the program. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the principal, faculties, management of the college, and NSS team members, and finally to all the participants who gives so much of importance to women empowerment, and thus our college celebrate this event every year with utmost zeal and enthusiasm. It's really an honor to be the student of Shasun. Happy Women's Day to you all. Courageous and incredible women, your presence is inexpressible in few words. Each one of you has a perfect special role that you are playing in many lives. Without women, the world and lives are incomplete. Thank you everyone for being a part of this occasion. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tanya. Strong women aren't simply born, they are forged through the challenges of life. With each challenge, we grow mentally and emotionally. We move forward with our heads held high and a strength that cannot be denied. A woman who's not been through a storm and survived. We are warriors. Wishing you all a very happy International Women's Day. I am Shangamita P. from Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashun Jain College for Women of 2nd BCom General. I feel very happy to host this beautiful gathering. Let's start with our first event, Logogenic. I would like to call upon the participants' name. Please be present here. Jay Surya from New College, Royapet. Ashwini Ganesh from MOP Vaishnav. Shakti from MOP Vaishnav. Swarupa from Shashun Jain College.
Now, I would like to call Jayashuri of PSC Advanced Zoology and Biotechnology.
Yeah, very happy good evening to meet in this wonderful day of to proud our women's. First of all, I thank my mother for preparing my daily breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything. And I will say about this logo. First of all, the great woman, we prevent the image. for our India is Bharat Mata. He is our protector. I especially mentioned that Tirukural 151, which means அகர்வாரை தாங்கும் நிலம் போல தம்மை இகர்வார் பொறுத்தல் தரை. நிலமானது ஒருவர் தோண்டும் பொழுது எப்படி பொறுத்து கொள்கிறதோ, பெண்ணானவள் அனைத்தையுமே பொறுத்து கொண்டு இந்த உலகத்தை இந்த ஜகத்தையே காப்பாற்றி கொண்டிருக்கிறாள். அதற்கு சிறந்த எடுத்துக்காட்டு இந்த பூமாதேவி. And my second logo is, can you please share my logo? We have to protect from the devil. Yesterday, I heard the news that I have seen in Uttar Pradesh. The girl was belongs to harassment, so we have to get the hands to fight to harassment people, and we have to give the protect, love, and peaceful to women, and we have to always secure the women. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Yeah. Now I would like to call Ashwini Ganesh from BCom Honors. You can start now.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening to one and all present here. I'm Ashwini Ganesh, studying second year BCom Honors in MOP Vaishnav College. I'm here to present my logo for the Women's Day. Women is an emotion. What a woman can do, from what a woman can do to what a woman can't, is a great evolution. My subtopic chosen is the opportunities and challenges faced by women. The logo here represents the drop of water represents the opportunities available for the woman in the world. The drop of water is an ocean of opportunities. But the fire surrounding the water is the challenges faced by the women. For example, the society, the people around them, the mother, the father, everyone is the obstacle for them. The finance problems and everything is an obstacle. The women should face all the challenges and should reach the drop of water to do great wonders. I hereby thank for the opportunity and wish all the women a very happy Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashwini Ganesh. It is really wonderful. Next, I would like to call Ms. Shakti M from BCom Honors.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, Ms. Shakti, you are audible.
So, good evening, everyone. So, the logo that I've drawn is a representation of the theme gender inclusion. So, I would like to quote Mr. Ban Ki-moon here. So, achieving gender equality requires the engagement of women and men, girls and boys. So, it's everyone's responsibility. As gender inclusion is everybody's responsibility. The rectangle in the logo symbolizes equality. The rectangle can also represent the various jobs ranging from technical to financial, which offer opportunities equally for all. So the strength of the triangle suggests masculinity, and the red color is associated with energy. So the red triangle is a representation of the male population in the world. The spiral is a very feminine symbol, and the color pink is associated with love, kindness, and femininity. Hence, the pink spiral is the representation of the female population in the world. So, to conclude, the logo is a symbolic representation of how both men and women should be in an inclusive environment in order to maintain balance and equality in the world. So, yeah, happy Women's Day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shakti. Wish you the same.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Ms. Swarupa from BSc Computer Science.
Yes, thanks for giving me this opportunity. And good day, ma'am. So shall I start, ma'am? Ma'am? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Ma'am, I have just mentioned the word once hated because girl child, when we hear this word, in that society, if a baby is born, if it is a girl child, they will be just hating because in that society, people think that what can a girl do? But now it's not like that. It all changed. Whether she is differing with religion or whether she is differed with her color, tone, or whether the hairstyle, whatever she is she want to live the way she is now. And I have also include the transgender because they want to be as a woman, so they have an equal opportunity to be a woman, and they can also celebrate this Women's Day. That's all.
Thank you so much, Swarupa.
Yes, that was an interesting event. Let's move on to our next event, that is Speak to Lead.
I would like to call K. Madangi of BCom Honest from Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashan Jain College for Women.
Yes. Very good evening, everyone. I am K. Mathangi of Shashan Jain College, pursuing BCom Honors first year, and I'm here to talk about the new normal post-pandemic for women. So, okay, so yeah, so I would like to start by saying that the economy does not work without women, and the economy does not work without mothers. So, women have a very key role to play in the economy. So we all unanimously accepted this fact that this COVID-19 pandemic has disproportionately hurt women in all dimensions of life. Right from the informal sector, where paid work became hard for women and at times even impossible, driving many women out of workforce. Even women were already in less secure employment, often again in the informal sector, with no job security. So some were the migrant workers who migrated to richer countries like the Middle East to find work, and when this pandemic hit them, they were stranded and vulnerable. So they were also single mothers who worked for low wages with no financial safety. So they had to keep working in order to survive, but not everyone was able to do so. So those who lost the ability to pay rent faced losing their households, losing their homes, and just maintaining a mere access to water and the basic utility was a great struggle for many. So that brings me to the next thing, which is the formal sector. Though the storyline doesn't change here either, I would like to quote a statistics saying around 2.5 lakh women were driven out of the job market, which is roughly 4 times the number of men. And the reason was just to take care of their families and schools and daycares being closed. So I think it's easy to look at this as women leaving the workforce, but I would like to view it as a woman leaving a paid job to take up an unpaid job, which doesn't sound fair at all. Okay, let's move to another nerve-wracking incident, which is the case of pregnant women who struggled to access care and faced increased risk of abuse. And that brings me to my next point. Being stuck at home under movement restrictions, cut off from friends, families, and colleagues, service providers struggling to continue their work, it was a very perfect storm for women at risk of violence in their home. So the rates of reported domestic violence rose in the country around the world. But a point worth mentioning here is that the rate of reported rape cases decreased owing to the same fact. Even school-going girls were made a part of this gender-based violence. When girls left school, even for temporarily, they were at risk of being forced into child marriages, often driven by financial stresses in rural areas. Okay, so after all this, there's a very special feature of this pandemic in a way where people have worked in certain sectors, particularly health and education, which are right now being celebrated. It is here that we see many and most of the significant boost to women's status. For according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, 70% of workers in these sectors are women. So the status of these jobs have, regardless of pay or rank, is not likely to diminish anytime sooner. So with this, we should be moving swiftly on from a very pessimistic approach to this pandemic to a more of an opportunist. And this is what exactly the women rights activists are doing. So these activists and their groups are mobilizing through the pandemic, getting as much as possible to who needed, holding their governments accountable and planning how we rebuild. So our job now is to demand a post-pandemic world where we repair not only the unequal harm suffered during the pandemic, but also the deep inequities that had led to that harm. So let's start by one of the very basic one, which we all keep hearing constantly, that is unemployment, and how that's been addressed. That's been addressed with this concept of work from home, which was never in trend like before. A remote work which gives women a freedom to work in her own space, encourage her to take up their domestic responsibilities and take care of her families as well. So this concept of a full-time work from home was not encouraged owing to many factors, like there was no need for it, and secondly, no one understood its importance. But now work from home has become normal, and a lot of successful companies are ready to allow it for a full-time basis. The next one is offering a pandemic leave of absence for about 12 to 18 months period, which can be and are unpaid, but the benefits are all covered. That is, at the end of the leave, the organization guarantees employment at the same level and the same salary, but not necessarily the same job for women. Then a very common one that we keep hearing throughout the pandemic was reskilling or upskilling. So companies that have done well during the pandemic, they were like the Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, they could actually, and they are planning on to reinvest their profits into paying women to complete a specific upskilling program. So then that brings me finally to the one of the most funniest of all, which is while there are increased burden on women that's been highlighted in the media, men are also taking up additional responsibilities too. So then that is self-explanatory, and we understand how positively has this pandemic impacted women life as well, and how that will continue. So this pandemic, though had a rough phase initially, but is leaving us back with many lessons and messages, and and that actually made us stronger. And how exactly? It is because the pandemic did not tell women anything that they do not know. That is how about how unequal they are in this world, but it actually galvanized their rage and left them with less to lose. And that's how exactly we learn to become strong. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madangi.
It was an interesting speech. Let's move on to the next participant, Videnya from Wales University, Biotechnology, third year.
Morning. Good evening, all of you. I am Shreya B from BCom E&F Department of Shasan Jain College, and I'm here to speak about the challenges a woman faces in her life. So, firstly, the one which we are accustomed to from our childhood in our very own families, not every family, but usually, are simple gender stereotypes from small things like, okay, you're a girl, so you have to help out in the kitchen, so you're a guy, okay, you can go out and enjoy and play sports, while a girl is not supposed to play sports and is supposed to take up more feminine avenues of interest like the arts. So the gender stereotyping starts from home, and it's ingrained into every person's mind. And before you even know it, the stereotypes become so big and so unassailable that it becomes a huge problem in society, which leads to much bigger problems like violence against women, because women used to be treated like property. And because of that, there's been a lot of violence against women over over the years, and there seems to be nothing done that's stopping or reducing the violence. I agree that it has gone down, and the punishment for any sort of domestic abuse or sexual abuse has been made. It The violence just doesn't seem to be decreasing, no matter how hardcore the punishment is. The violence just doesn't seem to be decreasing. Also, because the women also don't speak out against the issues that they face, because they might have seen it happening in their own families, in their own houses before, and they might think that's normal, but it's really not. One more thing which I find very interesting is how men are glorified for doing the bare minimum. Like a guy treating a person of the opposite gender as an equal and being a feminist, that's normal, that's basic, that's how a person should be. But if a guy does that, he's glorified. It's just the bare minimum one person can do. It's nothing great. That's how every person has to be. And there's obviously the discrimination that the world has against women. We don't get period leave. They don't really understand any of the struggles that women go through. The casual sexism that happens in every place, no matter from schools to any events we go to working place spaces, the amount of casual sexism that exists is not really indicative of a progressive world. Um, one example would be the wage difference. A guy and a girl working the same amount and holding the same post are not paid the same. Like, what is that about? Is that because of just the fragility of male ego, that they should not be out earned by members of the opposite gender? Like, what's that about? If you're doing the same job, you deserve to be paid the same. What's There's no difference just because of biological your biology. You shouldn't be treated different. It's that simple. One more example I could give is how uh, one very small example which happens in every household, I'm sure, maybe not your or direct family but your extended family, is how you're asked to dress a certain way when certain people come to your house or when you're going to a certain place. That's just plain wrong, and that's just creepy. Why should you have to dress differently with different people? It's just indicative of a very predatory behavior that exists in the society, which shouldn't really be there. And it's just sad that a woman has to go through so much in life to even get the bare minimum, the recognition and the respect she deserves. And how
Miss
the world,
Shreya,
yeah,
your time is up.
okay, I'll just conclude. And how the world still doesn't see women as equal to men, when women go through so much more in their life and have equal, if not more, capabilities than men. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya. Let's move to our next participant, Divya Darshini from Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashun Jain College, BCom General, first year.
Am I audible?
Yes, continue.
அனைவருக்கும் திவ்யதர்ஷினியின் பணிவான வணக்கம். சாதனை பெண்கள் இந்த வார்த்தையை சொல்வதற்கே மிகவும் பெருமையாக இருக்கிறது. பாசம் சுமந்தவள் தங்கையாகிறாள், உணர்வை புரிந்தவள் தோழியாகிறாள், நேசம் தாங்கியவள் மனைவியாகிறாள், அக்கறை கொண்டவள் அன்னையாகிறாள். இப்படி பெண் என்றால் அன்பில் தாயாக, அறிவில் மந்திரியாக, வெறுப்பில் நெருப்பாக, அழகில் தேவதையாக, வெற்றிக்கு மாலையாக, கண்டிப்பில் ஆசிரியராக வளம்பவர்கள் பெண்தான். இன்று விவசாயத்துறையிலிருந்து விண்ணில் பறப்பது வரை பெண்கள் மிக அழகாக சாதனை படைத்து வருகிறார்கள். இதில் யாரை சொல்வது, யாரை விடுவது? அரசு டாக்டர் வேலையை விட்டுவிட்டு புற்றுநோய் ஆராய்ச்சியா? அதெல்லாம் வேண்டாம் என்று தடுத்திருந்தால் டாக்டர் சாந்தா நமக்கு கிடைத்திருப்பாரா? வெளிநாட்டு படிப்பா வேண்டாம் என்று ஷியாமலாவை தடுத்திருந்தால் கமலா ஹாரிஸ் கிடைத்திருப்பாரா? அக்னி புத்ரி என்று அழைக்கப்படும் இந்திய ஏவுகணை ஆராய்ச்சியாளர் டிசி தாமஸ், மல்யுத்த வீராங்கனை சாக்ஷி மாலிக், நியூயார்க் நீதிபதி டயான் குஜராத்தி, இன்று இப்படி நிறைய பேரை சொல்லிக்கொண்டே போகலாம். அமெரிக்காவில் முதல் பெண் துணை ஜனாதிபதியாக இன்று என்ற வகையில் சரித்திரத்தில் இடம்பெற்றுள்ளார் கமலா ஹாரிஸ். பதவியேற்பு விழாவில் போது தன் தாய் ஷியாமலாவை நினைவு கூர்ந்து நன்றி சொல்லி, நான் முதல் பெண் துணை ஜனாதிபதியாக இன்று பதவியேற்கலாம், ஆனால் அந்த வரிசையில் கடைசி பெண்மணியாக நிச்சயம் இருக்க மாட்டேன் என்று மிக உருக்கமாக பேசியிருந்தார். உலகிலேயே முதன்முறையாக மத்திய ரிசர்வ் போலீஸ் படையில் நக்சல் தடுப்பு பிரிவில் முழுக்க மகளிர் மட்டுமே இடம்பெற்றுள்ளனர் என்பது எவ்வளவு பெருமையான விஷயம். அந்த அஞ்சாத பெண் சிங்கங்கள் வீரதீர செயல்களை நாட்டு முழுமையாக பயன்படுத்த வேண்டும். இப்பொழுது உள்ள காலகட்டத்தில் பெண்கள் நிறைய சாதிக்கிறார்கள். அதற்காக அவர்கள் வீட்டினர் பல பேர் இருந்து உறுதுணையாக இருக்கிறார்கள். அவர்களை சுதந்திரமாக சிந்திக்க, செயல்பட உறுதுணையாக இருக்கிறார்கள். இதுவே 30-40 வருடங்களுக்கு முன் இந்த சூழ்நிலை இல்லை. என்னுடைய பாட்டி மிகவும் பிரமாதமாக பாடக்கூடியவர். அவருக்கு 15 வயதில் திருமணமான பின் அந்த பெண்ணிற்கு என்று தனிப்பட்ட விருப்பம் இல்லை. புகுந்த வீட்டினர் என்ன சொல்கிறார்களோ அவர்கள் விருப்பப்படி நடக்க வேண்டும் என்று சொல்லி வளர்த்த காலம். இன்று நிலைமை அப்படி இல்லை. திறமைகள் ஊக்குவிக்கப்படுகின்றனர். நிறைய மீடியாக்கள் இருக்கின்றனர். பெற்றோர், கணவர், குழந்தைகள் என்று எல்லோரும் அந்த பெண்ணை என்கரேஜ் செய்து அந்த பெண்ணின் திறமைகளை மெழுகேற்றுகிறார்கள். அதற்கு நாம் கரம் குவித்து சிரம் தாழ்த்தி நன்றி சொல்வோம். எந்த குழந்தையும் நல்ல குழந்தைதான் மண்ணில் பிறப்பையிலே, அவர் நல்லவராவதும் தீயவராவதும் அன்னை வளர்ப்பினிலே. ரொம்ப அருமையான பாடல் வரிகள். ஒரு குழந்தையை வழி நடத்தி செல்வதற்கு முதல் ஸ்தானம் தாயை சொல்லியிருக்கிறார்கள். எவ்வளவு பெரிய பொறுப்பு பெண்ணிடம் கொடுத்திருக்கிறார்கள். மங்கையராய் பிறப்பதற்கு நல்ல மாதவம் செய்திடல் வேண்டும் அம்மா. இப்படி சிறப்பு மிக்க பெண்கள் நம் உலகத்தில் வாழ்ந்திடல் வேண்டும் அம்மா. பட்டங்கள் ஆழ்வதும் சட்டங்கள் செய்வதும் பாரினில் பெண்கள் என்று நம் பாரதியின் கனவை நாம் நினைவாக்குவோம். ஒரு பெண் படித்தால் ஒரு குடும்பம் வளர்ச்சியடையும். ஒரு குடும்பம் வளர்ச்சியடைந்தால் ஒரு கிராமம் வளர்ச்சியடையும். ஒரு கிராமம் வளர்ச்சியடைந்தால் உலகமே வளர்ச்சியடையும். ஒரு பெண்ணின் வளர்ச்சிக்கு தடைக்கல்லாக இல்லாமல் படிக்கல்லாக இருந்து ஊக்குவிப்போம். பெண்கள் இல்லாமல் இந்த உலகம் சாதனை அடைவதில்லை, சரித்திரம் படைப்பதில்லை, வளர்ச்சி அடைவதில்லை. ஆகையால் இந்த உலகம் வளர்ச்சி பெறுவதற்கு முக்கிய காரணம் பெண்களே. எனக்கு மிகவும் பிடித்த 4 வசனங்கள். I can be successful. I want to be happy. I will be good and strong. If you can't, then no one else. இவையே வெற்றி, மகிழ்ச்சி, நன்மை, தன்னம்பிக்கை என்று 4ற்கும் தாரக மந்திரம். இந்த நன்னாளில் பெண்கள் அனைவருக்கும் மகளிர் தின வாழ்த்துக்கள். பெண்மையை மதிப்போம், வணங்குவோம். அவர்கள் சுதந்திரமாக சிந்திக்க செயல்பட வழிவகுப்போம். பெண்கள் நமது நாட்டின் கண்கள் என்று கூறி எனது உரையை முடித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, Divya Darshini. It was really an interesting speech. Let's move on to our next participant, Induja from SCNB Vaishnav College at Crumpet, BCA Department, first year.
Good evening to all. My topic is women empowerment. Women empowerment is made up of 2 words, woman and empowerment. Empowerment means to give power or authorities to someone. So, woman empowerment means in the hand of woman. It signifies that women should be given equal opportunity in every field, irrespective of any discrimination. Our society compares men and women. In earlier time, men were considered to be a leading member of a family. They were responsible for earning the livelihood and were the decision taker of the family. On the other hand, women were responsible for doing household work and upbringing of children. So the roles were mainly based on gender. There were no involvement of women in their decision making. It be access of our entire sector. The research say that women issues are either forced on a reproductive role and a body on a common economic role as a worker. But none of this them is forced on empowering the woman. What does woman empowerment means? Woman empowerment is the process that creating power in a woman to live a happy, respectively life in a society. Women are empowered when they are able to access opportunity in a variety of fields such as education, professionally, lifestyle, etc. without any limitation and restriction. It includes raising the status through education, awareness, literacy, and training. It also includes the authority to take decisions. When a woman makes a critical decision, she feels empowered. Women empowerment is a most curious point of overall development of your country. Suppose in a family, there is a one earning person, while in another family, both men and women are earning, then who will be a better life? The answer is simple. The family where both men and women are earning money, this is the country where men and women working together develop at a faster rate. Need women empowerment is to say that women were ill-treated, the Satyapara, it's Asian time to girl child abortion in the present scenery. Women continuously facing such violence. Not only this, heinous crimes against women such as rape, acid attack, dowry system, honor killing, domestic violence, etc. are still happening in the India. Out of the total population, 50% of the population should consist of women. However, due to a female obfuscating practice, girl child number of are decreased sharply in India. It has a impact the sex ratio in India. The literally rate in girls is very low. Most of the girls are not even provided with primary education. Moreover, they are married earlier and made to raise children and shoulder only household work. They are not allowed to go out and are dominated by the husband. Women are taken for granted by men as they are considered the property. Even at the workplace, women are discriminated against. They pay less for the same work as compared to their male counterparts. Step 2: empower women. Women can be empowered in a various ways. It can be done through government schemes as well as individual basis. At the individual level, we should start respect women and start giving their opportunity equal to the men. We should promote and encouragement them for jobs, higher education, business actives, etc. The government has upcome with various schemes such as Betty Bachos and Shakti Kandar, Working Woman Foster, etc. Apart from this scheme, we as individually can we empower women by abolishing social evils like the dowry system, child marriage. The small steps will change the situation of the woman in a society, make them feel empowered. That's all my speech, and listening my speech is very thankful to one all together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Induja. Let's move on to our next participant, Niveta Srinath of MOP Vaishnav College, Psychology, second year.
Am I audible?
Yes,
hello.
Yes, you can proceed.
Okay. Good evening to one and all present here. I am Niveta Srinath from the MOP Vaishnav College for Women, and I am here to speak about women empowerment. While the world is busy turning individuals into collectives, there exists a rare breed of persevering people who rise above that to redefine themselves and the people around them as well. This rare breed of people is none other than women. These are the change makers who are not willing to let others, their roles in society, and what they can or cannot do define them. Right away, with the first wave movement in the 1900s, there was a clarity that we as women need equal importance and a right to be seen. A classic real-life example of women empowerment in India was seen in the life of India's first female flight lieutenant, Gunjan Saxena, who is commonly known as Kargil Girl because of her achievements in fighting in a war zone and saving the lives of so many Indian soldiers. She abolished the taboos that society had created for women and became an example for the future generations. Empowerment of women simply refers to the process by which women acquire a right to make strategic life choices for themselves. In spite proving their worth in such a courteous manner, the condition of women is still pathetic in many parts of the world, and this calls for an awareness to uplift our young and strong women. We live in a country where half of our women population walk shoulder to shoulder with men, and the other half struggle to get basic rights even after 7 decades of India's independence. Playing dual roles by managing their families and working for the public, women are one of a kind. Every woman is an asset to every country, but sadly, they are considered as a liability. A woman throughout her lifetime plays the role of a daughter, a mother, a sister, a wife, and each of these roles, it has an impact on our society. Women have tried to excel in different fields. However, in whatever field they try to step into, they face problems of gender discrimination, biases, and many more. Especially in our Indian society, we have male dominance, where men expect to be treated differently than how women are treated. They expect to be treated with more respect, with more admiration, and so on. It is necessary for men to understand the strength and power of women and allow them to become independent. We cannot call our country a developed nation unless we empower our own women in the true sense of its term. We cannot call our country like that because women are the face of our country. Small changes like making men understand about splitting household chores, investing in women entrepreneurial ideas, providing mentors for both women and girls in professional and personal aspects can make a huge difference. With women empowerment, we as women, we're not trying to dominate the world, but we're trying to make a stand. We're trying to be equal with the men of our own country. This can be done only when there is an attitudinal change in our society. Being a woman should not be one's fear, it should be one's biggest achievement. I would like to conclude my speech by quoting that there is no force more powerful than a woman who is determined to rise up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Niveta. It was really interesting one. We move on to the next participant. MOP Vaishnav College, Psychology, second year.
Hello, I hope I'm audible and visible. Please confirm.
Yes, you're audible.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Aren't we all truly proud to be a woman? An empowered woman is powerful beyond measure and beautiful beyond description. At the same time, there is nothing stronger than a broken woman who has rebuilt herself. She overcame everything that was meant to destroy her. Being a woman should be your supreme achievement and not your deepest fear, as quoted by our previous speaker, Niveta Srinath. Celebrate womanhood, fuel yourself with a self-confidence, and let that fuel empower you to soar towards your dream. And with that note, I'd like to wish all the wonderful, charming women present here a very happy Women's Day in advance. Empowerment of women is essentially the process of uplifting the economic, social, political status of women, the traditionally underprivileged ones in the society. It is the process of guarding them against all forms of violence. Women empowerment involves the building up of a society, a political environment wherein women can breathe without the fear of oppression, exploitation, apprehension, discrimination, and the general feeling of persecution which goes with being a woman treated as equal to men in all places. In the Western societies, the women have got equal right and status with men in all walks of life. But gender disabilities and discriminations are found in India even today. The paradoxical situation has such that she was sometimes concerned as goddess at the other times merely as a slave. Today, women are facing so many challenges that is most often very unheard of. These challenges, when confronted with, leaves a mark on the woman's heart forever. Gender discrimination, lack of education, female infanticide, financial constraints, family responsibilities, low mobility, low ability to bear risk, low need for achievement, absence of ambition for the achievement, social status, dowry, and marriage in the same caste and child marriage. These are something which have been year-old and they are still existing. To add on, atrocities on women, raped, kicked, killed, subdued, humiliated almost daily. Why? Why do we need to tolerate so much of cruelty? But despite all this, men are considered to be the stronger ones. If only six packs and built bodies is called strength, then here is something I'd like to tell all of you women. The strongest actions of a woman are to love herself, believe herself, and to shine among the others who thought and said she never could. Mahatma Gandhi said, to call a woman a weaker sex is a libel. It's a man's injustice to women. If by strength is meant by moral power, the women are immeasurably man's superior. You don't have to play masculine to be a strong woman. A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman. We need women at all levels, especially at the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make sure the woman's voice is not only overlooked or heard. I want every girl to know that her voice can change the world. Therefore, my dear friends, speak up against the cruel practices, challenges, and face them with your chin held up high. In this difference of voice, a woman lies the truth of an ethnic care that ties the relationship between a responsibility and the origins of aggression in the failure of connection. Therefore, I would like to conclude by saying that behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women having her back. If only one of you in this group decide to step out and speak against crimes, all of us here in the same meet will have your backs and will stay with you forever. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Samita. That was really wonderful. Next, I would like to call Ritika Jadhav, BC Mathematics, Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashan Jain College for Women, second
Yes,
year.
I'm audible.
Yes, Ritika, you are audible.
Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. Sorry, good evening to everyone. My name is Aritika Jadhav from Shashan Jain College from second year BSc Mathematics. My topic is challenges and opportunities faced by the women. Challenges is faced by women is from her birth to her death. I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So challenges is that from our birth to our death, there is a lot of challenges, not only for the women, but to the males too. But the biggest challenge in the life is to women only, because from the birth, they sacrifice their life to the others. They sacrifice their life to their family, for their dear and near ones. So and in the ancient time we get more less opportunity, but now there is a more flourished opportunity to everyone. So we should not say that the opportunity is less to the women. If we are saying that the opportunity is less, in the ancient period many women have sacrificed everything to be gone up. Like for example, Rani Lakshmibai, at her times the woman should not go out of the home itself, but she gone out and she fighted for our India. It's very privileged to us that we are the country who was Rani Lakshmibai was being born. And many of them, for example, in our, if we are saying that opportunity is not there, there not be Indira Gandhi or Kalpana Chawla and many of us. So the challenges are many in our life, in working place, in business, in politicals, many places we are facing the challenge. But we should overcome the challenges always. A woman is a compassion of man. If a woman can do anything, because if she decided she can do, no one can be stopped to her. And we should be.
We'll move on to the next participant. Viva D. Visual Communication, Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashan Jain College for Women, third year.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vidha, and I belong to Triple S Jain College, third year from Department of Visual Communication. The topic I'm going to talk today is about women empowerment. So let's begin. What is women empowerment to all of us? Is it about supporting feminism, or is it about getting treated equally, or is it about getting superior to the men? Becoming dominant to men because they've been dominant to us for a long time. Probably, I will leave that thought to you. After I'm going to tell all about my perspectives towards women empowerment, we will know where we stand today. If you think, or if we all of us think that women have been degraded from time immemorial, then all of us are wrong. Because back then, in the Rig Vedic period and way before that, women were given more respect than what it is today. For example, let's go to the Chinese dynasty. During the reign of Ming dynasty, there was a lady called Lin Xiniang. Her father had given her all knowledge about war related techniques, and she had mastered all of it. When she was 15 years old, her parents had died, and she had to move into prostitution after that. After that, one emperor from the Ming dynasty had his eyes on her, and that's how he made her as empress. After she had done that, she created her own army, which had all women army which she created, and she also had a chance of saving the king at once. Now let's go to another dynasty. Let's move to the Egyptian civilization. It was Nefertiti. She was an empress of a pharaoh, and when the pharaoh had died, she had taken up the role of the pharaoh, and she was known as the best ruling empress ever in the entire Egyptian scenario. Now let's come to India. During the Rig Vedic period, a lot of scriptures that the Rig Vedic had in itself are by the women authors. Now, in great epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata, every great warrior was known by his mother's name. For example, Hanuman is known as Anjali Putra, Hanuman, and Anjali is the mother of Hanuman. Same way, the great warrior Bhishma, the trainer of all the 5 Pandavas, he is known as Ganga Putra Bhishma, which is Ganga's son Bhishma. And this is how women were treated in the earlier. If you just think that these kind of women were only respected, no. Even the prostitutes were given equal respect. During the Rigvedic period, prostitutes also had a right to take part in all governmental bodies. They had big position and big roles in whatever they had to do. So this is a kind of ancestors we've had. Then when did all this male domination and women degradation, all that begin? It began when people started to settle down in places and when colonialism began. What happened when people had to settle down in places? They had to depend on the stronger sex, which is them, to get their house built, to get all the stones, the mud and everything mixed up. And most of the agricultural work then had all the works like plowing and taking the bull to its throughout the entire farm. And all this needed the help physically strong gender, as how men became the predominant. And after it was time when the higher authorities, the people who colonialized us, they had all the power within them, and to show that they could do things that they had to. So this is when men thought that women have to be behind the doors, because men considered women to be very holy, very, the respect of the family was the women. And they had them behind the doors. But people mistook it for being the male dominant society. Now, when you consider all the things that we were during the Rig Veda to we are today, we think the reaction towards women have become wider. But in actual fact, we all have become, we are asking for help. We are asking for help. What are we doing that? The question is not about what we're facing, but who is us. See, today we have things like internet with us. We have all the kinds of exposure. We have everything in our hands. Yes, there are women in the suburban areas, in the very rural kind of areas, who still don't have that kind of exposure. For them, we have the NGOs working. And if we feel that as women, we need to get ourselves stronger, it's not only just about us, it's about also those women there. And to extend our support, we need to stand for ourselves. And this is how we're going to build up a society. As long as men blame men for dominating over us, it's also
Ms.
our mistake. Yes.
Your time is up.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to conclude that our thoughts have become narrower than what it was earlier. So I would like to, motivate everyone to be more, to open up the thoughts to what we were earlier and bring a good future for the women. Thank you.
Thank you, Vibha Jain. Next, I would like to call Pratulya BCom AF, Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashan Jain College for Women, first year.
Hi, am I audible? Girls, we have a real problem in this world, and I'm not sure that how many people are actually aware of how deep that rabbit hole goes. My name is Pratulya. I'm from BCom ANF Shashan Jain College, and we are about to go right down that rabbit hole. We all have come across people using the phrase, "Don't run like a girl," or "Stop being such a girl." And we've heard these phrases in the most condescending tone ever, and we've heard them from a very young age. I mean, when did being a girl become an insult? It is this habitual, unconscious dialogue of misogyny that are so stuck in our culture. It sometimes makes us question our own abilities and power. In India, we worship Mother Nature. We celebrate goddesses, but in the same country, a girl child is seen as a burden, and she's ill-treated. We're talking about basic rights, and not just in India, but across the globe. I moved only a year and a half ago from Saudi Arabia. Now, most of you are aware that Saudi Arabia is known for oppressive behavior against women. Women weren't allowed to drive until 2018, and women presently aren't given access to basic healthcare without a male guardian. A male guardianship control system. This is the system in Saudi Arabia, which still exists, and it has been described by the Human Rights Watch as a life controlled by man from birth to death. This is the grim reality of the 21st century world, where people are being sent to the moon and Mars. Ladies in Saudi aren't allowed to get basic health care or go outside to the roads without a male guardian. Let me share a story of my Indian Muslim friend over there. This was back in 2018. We were 16-year-olds giving our 10th grade board exams. We came out of the exam hall and she covered her hair because it's customary over there, but she didn't wear the niqab. And this is something that covers your nose and the mouth, for those of you who don't know. And this is pre-COVID, so it wasn't like social distancing at all. She usually wears it, but that day it was very hot. It was 40 degrees midsummer heat. Now her dad sees her not wearing the niqab, takes her back home, and doesn't send her back. 3 weeks we weren't able to contact her at all. And then we assume that she'll come back, once the school starts and everything. And then school starts, we don't see her. So we contact the authorities. They contact her parents and they refuse to send her. And it took about 3 months of persuasion to send her back, just complete her basic high school education. This is not something a then 16-year-old has to fight for. Striving for equal treatment and opportunities is what the word feminism means. It is rather simple meaning, yet we're so far from achieving it. The usage of this word is time and again associated negatively. Feminism has often become synonymous with man-hating or anti-men, but this misconception has to stop. Our foremothers of history have had to fight many different fights to get us to where we are. And the society looks for every reason to silence our opinions and belittle us. Women often find themselves in positions having to choose between professional and personal life. If they excel in professional fields, they're seen as inconsiderate towards their family. But why do only women have to make this choice? When a man is clear-cut and straightforward, he's appreciated and he's given compliments to saying, oh, you're very bold, you're straightforward, you do things so, perfectly and all that. But when a woman does the same, she's deemed problematic, aggressive, bossy. These are the double standards that are embedded in our society. It's time to flip the script and not use the untrue insult that being a girl is wrong. We are not wrong to voice our opinion. We're pulling back the society from forward progress. As human beings, we're damaging our boys and girls from learning to work together. We're pushing away the ability to discover the unstereotyped strengths in the human race. We must find a way to empower all girls, all children in fact, and be the change this world has to see. We can start by choosing the words we use in our daily lives. And we must refuse to put up with the so-called rules of the patriarchal society. Let me conclude by saying that women empowerment isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives that strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratulya. That is really interesting. Next, I would like to call N. Rekha, BCom Corporate Secretary, Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashan Jain College for Women, first year.
Good evening to one and all. I am
Excuse me, Rekha. Rekha, your voice is not audible.
Jain College. Good evening to one and all. I am N. Rekha from BCom Corporate Secretary. First.
Participants, kindly turn on your videos. Thank you so much. Now I request every participant to fill the feedback form. Only then you will receive your e-certificates. Your feedback form link is presented in the chat box. Participants, kindly fill your feedback form. Thank you everyone for active participation, and the results will be announced by Sunday evening, that is tomorrow. I call upon Kripa Tashni to give away the vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present here. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. First of all, I extend my sincere gratitude to our college management, NSS program officer, and the entire NSS team of Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shasun Jain College for Women, making this event a grand one. I congratulate and thank every participant for joining this event. As a women, we need to reshape our own perception of how we view ourselves. We have to step up as women and take the lead. Happy Women's Day. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. After filling the feedback form, you can leave the meet.